Transfer the 2 mm segment of the aorta to the 820 ml bath. Then, holding the ring by the end, you can slide it onto the 2 pins sticking out into the bath. Mount the ring closer to the base of the pins than towards the tips. You may need to separate the pins slightly so the aorta does not slide off when transferring back to the interface. After you've mounted your tissue, you can bring the chambers back to the interface, plug them in, and make sure you have your bubbling going. You can then start recording on the software and turn on the heat on the interface. After 20 minutes have passed, we can start the normalization process. Click on the DMT tab and go to Normalization Settings. In this case, we'll be using an eyepiece calibration of 1, a target pressure of 13.3 kilopascals, and an IC1 to IC100 value of 1. You can then go back to the same tab and open channel 1. Our tissue endpoints are 0 and 2, and our wire diameter will be our pin diameter, which is 200 microns. We will then take our first reading from the micrometer on channel 1, which is 8900. Then we can also simultaneously work on channel 2. In this case, our tissue endpoints are 0 and 2 as well, because each segment was cut to 2 millimeters. Again, our wire diameter is our pin diameter, which is 200. We can then take a reading from channel 2. Our starting point for channel 2 is 9,000 even. For our second point on channel 1, we will add a bit of stretch and then take another reading. Our second point will be 9,350. We can then go to channel 2 and again stretch and take another reading. This is 9,460. After we have entered 3 points, you can then see the line of best fit according to the module. This is trying to find the right normalization target. You can see on channel 1, we still have a ways to go until we cross the target pressure line, which is our goal for the normalization. This means that you can take a larger step for your next point. The program needs a minimum of 4 points to accurately get a good target for the normalization. However, you will usually do far more than 4 steps. Channel 2 is showing the same response. As you approach the target pressure line, you should take smaller steps to avoid overstretching your tissue. Since each step takes a minute, you should try to add a decent amount of stretch between each point. Otherwise, this step will take a long time. You can see that channel 1 has now crossed the target pressure line. You now have a micrometer reading that is no longer an extrapolated result. You should move channel 1's micrometer to this calculated position. This is the calculated best point for normalization. You can see that channel 2 has also crossed the target pressure line. It's reading 10,237. So you can set channel 2's micrometer to that approximate value. This is the actual trace of the forces generated during normalization. And at the end, you drop it down to its optimal preload tension, as determined by the DMT normalization module. You should then wash out and wait 20 minutes before you start the wake-up protocol.